Hello everyone, welcome to Flat Creek Estate. My name is Sean Fulford. I'm the executive chef out here at the estate. Today we're going to do an oregano vinaigrette. So what we have is garlic and shallot, some fresh oregano, and a little bit of toasted comino. We take one small shallot. Generally like to chop the shallots before we put them in the blender because they don't kick around. So one small shallot, 2 cloves of garlic, roughly a half tablespoon of fresh oregano. And when you're making vinaigrettes, it's always good to season the ingredients before you put the vinegar in. So I'm going to do a little bit of salt and white pepper, probably half a teaspoon of toasted comino, and half a tablespoon of honey. We're going to add half the vinegar, which is 1/2 cup of vinegar, and we're going to gently chop up this. The rest of the vinegar goes in. Put it on a low speed. So. Oregano vinaigrette. Risotto is a borio rice. It's a very classic Italian dish. 2 ounces yellow onion, 3 ounces of butter, 2 ounces of Parmesan cheese, and this is dark chicken stock. We're going to take 2 tabs of butter into the saucepan and let that heat up and melt. So once our pan is heating up, we're going to sweat the yellow onions, and sweating is sauteing at a little slower speed. It's not as hot. So our onions have sweat probably for 2 minutes now, and what we're going to do is we're going to take the dry arborio rice and toss it in with the onions. We're going to toast the rice in the pan a little bit. It gives it a nice nutty flavor, and you don't want to cook it so much that you actually brown the rice. It's more just to toast the rice and give it a more nutty aroma. So as that's toasted up, we're going to take some of our Flat Creek Pinot Grigio, a good 3 to 4 ounces of it, incorporate it, let it reduce slightly, and what we do now is add 2 cups of stock to the risotto, twice the amount, and let that begin to simmer. Risotto is about a 20 to 25 minute process, so while this is lightly simmering, we're going to go into our chicken marinade. We very simple ingredients. We have fresh flat leaf parsley, roughly a 1/2 cup, fresh basil from the garden also, roughly a 1/2 cup, garlic and shallots, 1 small shallot, 5 cubes of garlic, a touch of our salt and white pepper mix, a slight bit of crushed red pepper, a little lemon juice, a little lime juice, and the oil that I do use here is 80% canola, 20% olive oil. So once again, we'll chop up our shallot so it doesn't jump around in the blender. Put it all in the blender. Go straight with our Italian parsley, basil, touch of salt and white pepper. This is half a teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes, and it's 1/3 of a lemon, 1/3 of a lime, fresh squeezed. And we're going to incorporate the oil just like we did at the vinaigrette. We'll start it off. This amount of marinade, roughly a cup, is good for probably 2 to 3 pounds of chicken, so I won't use it all on these. I would let it marinate for at least an hour or up to 2 days. It works well. The lemon juice helps preserve the chicken a bit, but not much, and it's really fabulous on the grill, so I recommend that highly. And right now we're going to start creme brulee. Creme brulee is a classic French custard. It has origins in France and in England, actually. So what we'll do first is we're going to take 3 cups of heavy whipping cream, put it into a high-sided stock pot. It's good to have a high side because heavy cream likes to boil over. And we're going to put that on high heat. We're going to add 2 ounces of sugar. We're going to stir that together. And to the cream mixture, we're going to add 1/2 vanilla bean. And what we do with vanilla beans, you can find these at most gourmet shops. You're going to split it down the middle and take the knife and scrape the seeds out of it. Once you get the seeds, put those in there, throw the whole bean in the cream, get all of our seeds in there. So give it another little stir. And really what we're doing is infusing the vanilla flavor into the cream and sugar mixture. We have 6 egg yolks in a large stainless bowl and our other half of sugar for a total of ½ cup of sugar. We don't want to add the sugar to the eggs until the cream is boiling, until we're ready to temper the eggs, because sugar is so alkaline that it will actually cook the eggs while they're sitting here. All right, so we have our cream beginning to boil with the vanilla and sugar. So we'll turn the heat off on that. And our 6 egg yolks and 2 ounces of sugar. We'll add the 2 ounces of sugar and immediately incorporate the sugar and egg together. Now what we're going to do is drizzle the boiling cream mixture into the egg mixture slowly. This is tempering the eggs, which helps incorporate them together. Go ahead and let our vanilla bean fall in and everything. The more vigorously you stir, the more air bubbles you get in this. So you kind of want to not stir too vigorously at all. And we'll immediately strain this. Strain it through a fine mesh sieve, but not so fine that the vanilla bean seed pods will stick in. Now that we have this custard made and strained, we can go straight into our creme brulee dishes in a deep-sided baking dish. You can use anything. Shallow creme brulee dishes work better. Fill them up as much as you can. And then we want to fill this pan up halfway up the dishes with hot water. And we will bake them in a 325-degree oven for 45 minutes to an hour. It also depends on your ovens. Okay, now our risotto has reduced 3 times. And if we look at the rice, fairly dry. And if you taste it, it's al dente or to the tooth. So it has a little bit of rigidity to it, but it is still very much cooked. So to finish off the risotto, we're going to take 2 ounces of whole butter, add it to the risotto, and roughly 2 ounces of Parmesan cheese. I'm going to add a little pinch of the salt and white pepper. Should be enough. And it'll start sticking together a little bit more, and is really what you're looking for. These are greens that we grew in our estates. We've got fresh arugula, break it into smaller pieces. Mustard greens, which are really lovely. They have almost a chocolatey flavor. And frisee is all going in here. We'll take our vinaigrette, give it a stir. To this, I'm going to add some queso fresco, which is a crumbly white cheese. Ricotta salata is the Italian variety of that. Some mandarin orange sections to that. And some herbed croutons. And give that a nice tossing with the spoons. And when you're plating salads, the best way to do it is pinch it with both hands and stack them together so you can get the lettuce in the middle of the plate and it won't go anywhere. Pull all your lettuce out, dump the goodies over the top, and that's our Flat Creek Estate green salad right there. And now for our risotto, to plate the risotto, if you take 2 spoons and run it together and make it look like a football. We have a nice piece of our marinated chicken, which we've sliced to set on a plate. And over here, which we'll find at Flat Creek, is our duck demi-glaze, which goes very well with the rich chicken stock risotto. Creme brulee, once we pulled it out of the oven, it had a slight jiggle to it, and you'll want to refrigerate it completely after you're done. To torch a creme brulee, we like to use sugar in the raw because it already has a nice caramel flavor to it, and it toasts up really, really well and leaves a nice crust on here. So we'll take that. And I like to use the garage variety propane torch to do my torching. And I always start at the front and move backwards because it slightly warms it up and continues toasting it past the flame. And if it gets a little bit black, that's okay. That's creme brulee, roughly it translates as burnt cream. So they are served cold or warm, depends on what region you're in. But it's nice to put down a little napkin to hold it in place. We have some fresh blueberries that can go right in the middle, and if you do it while it's still hot, they'll stick to it. And there we go, creme brulee with fresh berries. Risotto with chicken, Flat Creek Estate salad.